Hello and welcome to the Nexus channel. This is M, and we are diving into Star Wars Unlimited Season 0 sector and regional qualifiers. Are these your first big TCG events? Are you moving from locals to these big events and you don't know what to expect? Well, today we are diving right into what should you prepare? How can you prepare for these events? And we're going to look at from a lens of a player like myself, as well as we're going to have tips and recommendation from tournament organizer from OPE and a head judge, Josh. So a lot of tips for you, whether you are a brand new player, you're going for the first time, or you're just been to maybe a couple of them, or even if you're a seasoned player, some of these might be helpful. So before we dive into it, you might have seen that we have posted a bit less recently. I've been traveling in the States, Mexico, and I'm moving house, hence why different background. Also, I have a mirror in the back. Josh has been on tour with his band, and now is a tournament organizer as well for events. So this all to say, we're planning for more videos, but we really appreciate all your support. If you want to leave a like, a comment, subscribe to the channel, be really appreciate it. With that being said, today we're going to look at how to prepare for the event from a logistical perspective, from a personal standpoint, what to expect from these big tournaments. And we have some learning coming from Milan, and we're going to take some examples of the upcoming Liverpool one, but I believe there's also Denver and Richmond. There's more sector qualifiers. There's Lille, a first regional coming soon. So we're going to look into that. How to approach a long day of games. You need to keep in mind what you need to prepare for. And then finally, like a little funny, like what to play. So prepare for the event. This might be obvious for some, but logistics are really important. So make sure you understand where the venue is, familiarize with all the information that are shared on the event page from the tournament organizer. Again, this is OP for Liverpool. They do a fantastic job at showing all the information, and they also leave a contact for their Discord where you can reach out to them. And that's something that you should keep in mind. If there's something that you see is missing and you're not sure about, just make sure to contact the tournament organizer. Maybe if you need accessibility features. I know, for example, OP allows for or helps with like, a dedicated table for people with mobility issues, amongst other things I'm sure they can help with. So don't be shy, reach out, ask before the event. You will receive a link for Melly to submit your deck list. We're going to talk about that, but just familiarize with the logistic, and also look up on FFG website more details about the events themselves, whether it's a sector or a regional or the World Championship maybe. So how do we prepare for this event? This is going to be 2 long days of play. Amazing, super fun, but also tiring, right? The Adam from OPE has said, power bank is a great idea. We're going to start at 9 in the morning. It's another thing about logistics. Make sure you arrive with some time. I would say plenty of time, but make sure you arrive before that 9 a.m. mark, obviously. And prepare for a 9 until 7 p.m. So definitely I agree with that power bank. Bring water and snacks. So throughout the day, you definitely want to keep yourself fueled. Another thing from a personal perspective, what I like to do is just decide the day before, how am I getting to the venue? What am I going to wear? Obviously what I'm going to play. Where are my things, right? Because throughout the whole day, you need to make a lot of decisions, and as you make more decisions, you make more mistakes. So, maybe a small thing, but I would definitely suggest that. Check your sleeve, bring spare. I will put it here. I'll put it in another slide, and I'll repeat it again, and we'll see why. But make sure that you have a new sleeves that are matte sleeves, and they don't have any factory defect. Make sure that the deck list is correct and submitted. So we'll be using Melee for this event, and I believe for all foreseeable events, Melee is the platform. You will be receiving a link to submit your deck list. Make sure that you're correctly writing down the way we're going to find out how it's submitted, but the right names of the cards, the right name of your leader, of your base. You know, especially now in set 4, we have multiple copies of the same unit. Make sure you have the correct unique name for these. Really, really important. This is going to be a long weekend, and it's not all about the main event. There's going to be a way to celebrate the game, to get very unique memorabilia. So just want to put this here. I got these images from the KTOD Discord, some folks that were in Milan, just to get us excited. We're definitely going there to win, but there's going to be a lot of opportunities to play the game, have fun, collect tickets that will give you prizes from the prize wall, which also the tournament organizer has shared a tip, which is familiarize with what the wall price is, like what you want from it, so then the queue times can be managed accordingly. So yeah, familiarize with what are the prizes that you want, and good luck collecting the tickets. These tickets can be collected through side events that will start, I think, midday from day 1. So even if, touch wood, you're not having the best time in the main tournament, it's not going very well because you queued into 6 jungos, you can always start the side events, start grinding, get these tickets on Saturday and Sunday, and still go back home with a lot of stuff, including t-shirt, tote bags, mats, pins, and so on and so forth. Now, what you cannot win with these tickets is your sector qualifier championship and the promos. So we got this again from the Discord. But how do we get there? How do we win this? How do we give ourselves the best chance to get to day 2, to get to top 8, to get to the final, and to win? So as we get to this day on Saturday, in this case, Saturday, remember, is a best of 3. And what do I mean by that? Obviously, probably know it's best of 3, but best of 3 is really important because every game counts, right? This is something that I've learned myself from experience. And there's this really, really cool, I think it's like a class day, it's called, like speech from Roger Federer, just extremely accomplished tennis player, that talks about like the percentages of like points that he has won his whole career that is not as high as you would expect, but still he wants most of his matches. And what he talks about is that, it doesn't matter what just happened in the point before, you just need to swing 100% in your next point, right? And it's the same for best of 3. I'm sure if you talk to very accomplished TCG pro players that win events, they will tell you a lot of those games are 1-1, right? It's important to remember that you need a good 60 list, or if you're Joshua European, it's going to be maybe 64 plus list. But just keep in mind throughout the day, even if round 1, game 1, you lose, you go game 2, and then you go game 3, okay? Even if you lose round 1, don't lose all your hope, 1 game at a time. And to do that, make sure to check the time. Now, you might be playing an aggro deck. You might be saying, I'm playing Django, I'm playing Kazuda, I'm playing Sabine, sorry. I don't need to check time. Well, it's not always the case, trust me. So be prepared, review the end of game procedure, what happened at the 55th minute when, there's no winner declared, how you're going to navigate that, right? Also, we have seen the introduction of draw system. We're going to see how that impacts like getting to day 2, but just be prepared. understand how your deck works, understand that you might go to time. How do you avoid going to time? How do you avoid like maybe going to time by conceding game 1 or game 2 to go to game 3? It's really, really important. You're getting into a long day. Your opponent might be just as nervous and as new as you. I always suggest just, have a smile, like sit down with a smile, show sportsmanship as I write down here. Introduce yourself if you feel like, and if, that's something that Josh actually suggested is, up front, just establish some rapport, but also, if it makes you feel better, just say, I prefer to play by announcing all my actions, and please don't take your action until I say, completed action or something like that. That's something that we've seen in Milan. Someone said that, they got dexterity checked because they played a card, they didn't announce everything before the opponent played their cards. And in this game, you can take back an action if your opponent hasn't already taken an action that has given more information, that essentially like gain more information from. So just be mindful of that. Let's learn from this as a community, and let's avoid unfortunate situations going forward. And that links to the next point, which is don't be afraid of calling a judge or head judge. We're getting into that. So judges are there to help us, enjoy the game, have fun. And by that, I mean, if there's some ruling you're not sure of, if your opponent is playing a combo that you've never seen before and you're not sure, don't feel like you're like being the bad guy if you call the judge, right? Because you're just using your what you're entitled to, right? If you're just not sure, and you feel like I don't trust my opponent saying trust me, bro, right? Just call the judge. It's gonna be fine. Call the judge, or even if you're not sure about an interaction of something that you're playing. Now, I know that judges cannot tell you what's gonna happen if a card enters play. There's a situation where judges cannot advise you on some things, but it's always best to just, if you have a doubt, call the judge. And if you're not sure with the what the judge has decided, you can escalate to head judge. Again, this is not another thing that makes you look bad, is within your rights to do it, right? It's a brand new game, and some situations are difficult to judge. And so isn't within your rights. So you can ask, hey, can I escalate to head judge? I would like an extra pair of eyes on this, if that's okay, right? Obviously, always do it with the right intention and and show sportsmanship. But another thing I will mention is every round, the tournament organizer will have a random deck check. This is completely normal. They are essentially doing a routine check of decks, making sure that, the lists are consistent, that the sleeves are okay. And that's going back to, please make sure you're using new sleeves, and new, it means like brand new, okay? And if they're brand new and they have a factory defect, just buy a new pair. Use those for locals. Trust me, don't risk it. If you have a doubt, just go to Tournament HQ and say, hey, are these sleeves okay? I just opened them. Can you have a look? They're usually, especially OP, they're fantastic. They will tell you if they're okay or not. And have extra sleeves, because if you get picked and they come and check your deck, first of all, don't get nervous. You didn't do anything wrong, right? As long as you're not trying to cheat, you're going to be absolutely fine. Because what's going to happen is either everything is okay, or you need to replace some of the sleeves or all the sleeves, right? But you're going to be given a time extension and you're going to be absolutely fine. Now, you want to get to day 2. You need to get 21 points. It's 9 rounds. Each round, if you win, is 3 points, right? So we need to win 7 rounds out of the 9. Or we can win 6 and draw 3, which is quite complicated, to be honest, but is an option, right? So keep that in mind. Also, to get to top 8, you will most likely have to do 11-2, I believe. So you're going to do 9 rounds the first day for the next day. So just keep all this in mind. Now, what to play? This is a bit of a joke, to be honest, because ultimately what to play is your decision. Right now, we're like a few days from the event, but maybe you're looking at this and your next big event is in 2 weeks. So I will say, you're probably doing your due diligences and understanding what's meta. Obviously in this situation, like there's some clear like tier 0 decks, tier 0 deck. So you need to make sure that you have a good game into those. But also top 64 best place leader gets a showcase. So we have seen someone getting a look in Milan. That could be your goal as well. But ultimately is your decision. There is this concept of educated confidence that I love, which is like play something that you're confident with, that just doesn't auto lose to the things that are popular, right? Because two things I would say. One, you need to be confident with what you're playing for 9 rounds, 9 or plus rounds, right? So you might want to pick something that you're like, I know this inside out, and maybe it's slightly less powerful than X or Y, but I know it still has a fair chance, and I'm very confident with this. Second, that I completely forgot right now is, yes, the element of surprise. So if you're playing a deck that is maybe like, it's not even tier 1, it's tier 1.5, maybe tier 2, but it has cards that your opponents are not ready for, right? That it gives you an edge. It gives you an edge, especially along the day, because players are going to start not focus too much on like, what are your cards? Fatigue kicks in. So definitely, take your best chance with the deck that you feel more confident with, but don't bring maybe an Akbar deck. Good luck, have fun. So this is super important. One thing I suggest always is try to have a non-result oriented goal for the day or for the weekend. What does that mean? If you're a super competitive person and you've been grinding this last month or whatever to prepare for this tournament, you look at this and you're like, I don't care. I go there for win, and that's completely fine. This is a first event and you're new, or like me, I'm very competitive, but also I want to have a good time. And I know I'm going to have a good time. I'm with friends, but also I try to get better as a player every time, right? So what are these non-result oriented goals? These are tied to, learnings or growth as a player, or try not to make mistakes that you usually make. Or for example, for me, it's like, make sure I take one game at a time. That's super, super important for my mental, to make sure that I don't tilt, that I don't, give myself the best chances. I've done it in the past, lose the first round and then win the next 6. It's possible, right? So I think what I would suggest, try to have this non-result oriented goal. Maybe, I want to get the pins, or I want to get the mat. And well, I guess the mat is kind of result oriented, but I think you know what I mean by that. Now, I've been trying to do a bit of a stream of consciousness and also bring you the tips from head judge and a tournament organizer. Is there anything I've missed? Hopefully not, because I say is everything you need to know. Definitely I missed something. So let me know, what are your tips? What would you suggest to new players going to these big events? Or if you're going to a big event and you have extra questions, leave it in the comment. Leave a like, leave a subscription if you can. And thank you so much for watching. If you're coming to Liverpool, come and say hi to me, Josh, Ollie, Frankie. It's going to be a big group, as well as a Lille. So yeah, I hope to see you there. And if you're going to Liverpool, any of these big events, good luck, have fun, and I'll see you later. Peace.